return to Blackula meets Black Dracula.
I'm turning this disco into a hockey rink.
You mean a honky rink?
The thing about Blackula was, the one thing I would say about it, you were talking about like you not seeing imperfections in it. And I honestly, I still think some of those imperfections are what makes it kind of special.
True. I think as a movie, kind of like Night of the Living Dead or any of the movies of that era, where you have guys who are who do the best they can with what they have, and they make magic. The guys who are able to, George Romero, they take it's actually, because you're dealing with practicals and all of that stuff, you don't have the CGI now and all the tech. In a lot of ways, it's very, very fun. And the soundtracks were always great in blaxploitation, or mostly great. And so, I see the sentiment. But when you think about redoing it or bringing it into a modern era with a different audience that hasn't been exposed in the same way that you and I were, like we saw these things in real time. Right. You have an audience now that's been exposed to, high tech horror, and so when you're trying to bridge that gap with story and narrative, because a lot of those movies, if I try to get my kids to sit down and watch Blackula, they'll probably stab me or something. So they're used to what they're used to. And so I needed to build a bridge in my mind.
Yeah, you did. I mean, the only thing about it was there's no humor or no acknowledgement to him waking up in a completely different time.
No, well, there's a lot of things. How he found his wife, the woman that looks exactly like his wife, and he starts to chase her, and there's a lot. I like the first 10 minutes when he's with Dracula, and he's trying to stop the slave trade, and he's looking for help, and Dracula goes Dracula and bites him and kills his wife, and spoiler alert. And that part was cool, but then all of a sudden how he gets shipped to South Central and with the art dealers and all of that stuff, it's like, all right, we're just gonna have some fun, vampire fun right now. But
I bought it.
Well, because you're a simple audience, so they're easy to entertain. You're very easy to entertain. A lot of your taste is still questionable even at this advanced stage of life.
You're right. Listen, I'm not in a position to deny that, but I agree with you. I love the music. Hughes Corporation even makes an appearance in it.
Yeah.
And there's that moment in the sequel when he gets like accosted by those pimps, and they're like, "Give us your bread." And he first of all, it's a brilliant cast, and he turns around, and he's like, "I have no bread, and as far as kicking my ass, I would advise you to rethink that." He just delivered it with so much high octane sophistication that you couldn't help but kind of root for the guy, in a way. I don't know. Maybe it's just
do a really good William Marshall.
Do I?
Your road to redemption is paved with tombstones. No quarter, kill all masters. Go to noquarterkillallmasters.com. Rated R.